Hello and welcome back to Supply Chain Africa News. I'm still with these two gentlemen and one lady. So one thing that has come up in the whole of this discussion is financial constraints. Yeah. So we have Uwezo Fund, we have Youth Fund, and there is a slow uptake of those grants. Why?
So first of all, it's mainly the perception of government business in Kenya. So for you, the first assumption, maybe before you walk into the door, is the process will be cumbersome. Or maybe you'll have to know someone for your application to be processed. And also the government might ask you for too many requirements, which as a startup, you won't be able to meet. So I think for me, that's the main challenge with the government facilities for SMEs.
How did you position yourself first before you won the grant?
Maybe just before he answers that, as one of the reasons why we have a low uptake. One of the reasons, this Uwezo Fund was one of the initiatives by the Jubilee government when they first came to power in 2013 as one way of creating an employment for the youth. And it's being administered through CDF. And one of the reasons some of the reasons that, including what he has said, that have been given for the slow uptake is phobia for loans. Okay, they use also fear taking loans because of obvious reasons, like you would also have as an individual that if I fail to pay the loan, how will I behave or how will I be treated? Somebody will come and auction my land.
Yeah.
Number two, another is lack of information. Lack of information, people may not have really known exactly what the Uwezo Fund was all about, especially the youth. And number three, I'm sorry to mention this, they have also been blamed for laziness. Youths don't really they spend a lot of their time on non-value adding activities. Number four is lack of good business ideas. Okay, you see, before you do a business, you must have a good idea that is bankable. Okay, so these are some of the problems that I can add on as the reason for the slow uptake.
Yeah.
All right, about Uwezo and Youth Fund loans. Me personally, I've had a word with some of the SMEs. I keep on moving from one person to another to ask about these loans. But the feedback I'm getting from them, including myself, they are there, but accessing them is a big challenge. Yes, that is the main, accessing the loans, because most of the youths cannot access those loans. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mr. Ngesah, when you are talking about the idea needs to be bankable, so how should one package the whole of this idea so that if one hears about the idea, they have to trust it and see that, at the end of the day, this is an idea that will materialize?
I heard of a story one time where people were given horses as a means for transport. They ended up eating the horses. So what actually means is that they should have the government should have considered training the youths first of all on how to generate business ideas and how to manage business before you cannot just, you was talking with you over lunch hour about when you get 10,000 shillings, which you have never received before, you threaten neighbors, you intimidate neighbors, and that day you don't sleep. Okay. Yeah. So that is how it feels. Yes. Yeah. So if you don't know what to use the money for and how you manage a business, then you may not know how to use that money when you receive it. Yeah. So there's some bit of training on how business, especially business management skills. I'll tell you, there's in 2018, I consulted for GIZ, and GIZ has been very, very key in terms of developing skills. They are called skills for development programs. So I was we were training SMEs in Kwale. We were wondering, Best Titanium is the biggest mining company in Kenya. How come the SMEs around there are not able to benefit from the company in terms of even getting contracts? So we went there as supply chain experts and other financial experts and entrepreneurial experts to train them on business management skills and just how to win teach them how to win a contract, what we are calling bidding fundamentals. Okay, yeah. So it's very important to know how to do business before you because I'm imagining like what Joseph said earlier. You know, managing even your own money, expectations. If you cannot run a simple income and expenditure even on an Excel sheet, knowing how much is coming in, how much is going out, and whatever is coming in, am I going to use it on personal use or is it for business? Okay, so even having different accounts for business, you know, those simple things people don't really understand, and they use maybe even worse. Yeah.
So when you say about positioning yourself, like how can one position himself, or an SME can position itself so that it can win a contract?
Yeah, so that's a very important question. Like I said, you need to understand. You know, one of the things that make them fail to win this contract is just misunderstanding the requirements. Yeah, it would be the government or the person providing the contract. When these tenders go out or when the bids go out, what are the instructions, and what do the instructions require? And based on that, you are supposed to respond those instructions in exactly the way they are supposed to be responded to. Because if you don't, then you will not win the bid. So how do you get these youths to understand? It's by training them, and that's why supply chain experts come in to be able to, you know, train SMEs on how to win business from the government and from other private sector organizations. Okay. Yes.
It's not all about knowing.
It's not a it's not a birthmark. Well, knowing, I know what you're saying. You know, this is Kenya also, and Kenya will have issues, and those issues, you can ask yourself why SMEs being responsible for over 85% of the GDPs of the African continent and even the world. Okay, then why should we be making their lives difficult in accessing finance, in accessing business, when they are actually the ones employing over 80% of the population? Okay, and they are responsible for over 50% of the GDPs worldwide. So why are we not treating them the way they're supposed to be treated? Yeah.
So do you think like in Kenya we have a favorable business environment? Probably I can throw it to Muongi.
For the business environment, I can't say we have the worst. It's obvious we have room for improvement, but in general terms, from experience,
looking at all the legal requirements,
from what I've experienced so far, starting a business right now in Kenya, it's far much easier than it was 10 years ago, and than it was also 20 years ago. Because with the online application, you can easily register a business name with less than 3,000 Kenya shillings. All that at the comfort of your home without you having to move all the way to Nairobi and filling up documents. Okay. So that's a great advantage which we have, unlike other countries, and also unlike how it was before. So it's a key improvement. Some of the regulations can be challenging, such as the licensing, because if you're starting a business in any county, the first thing they'll ask is the business permit. So if you're not well equipped, the business permit is something which you were supposed to pay cash. So such initiatives should be tailored to meet starting businesses. Let's say if you're starting a business in a certain area, let them have flexible payment term for the licenses, or even give you a waiver for the maybe first year, 2 years. Such initiatives can be encouraged to support businesses.
How can one package, like for you, you've won the grant. The other time we were having a conversation and you're like, for you can get a loan if you want. Actually, banks approach you. So how do you always package yourself so that when you approach any bank, they would tell you, oh, it's Muongi. Okay, so how much do you need?
For that, also the other thing which I mentioned earlier, for you to be able to qualify for the bank loans, you have to meet the requirements. And if you talk to any loan officer, they'll tell you they have the 5 C's of credit, which are some things which you have to meet before you're able to get this loan. So mainly the first thing they can look at is your character. And for them to measure this is historically. Have you ever borrowed any money from anyone? And if you've defaulted in paying any money from a particular place, it's already a red flag for them.
Okay.
So they'll assume if you give you this loan, you might not be able to pay.
Okay.
They also look at your conditions. What do you want to put this money in? They also look at your capacity. What will be your income vis-a-vis your expense?
Okay.
So if you're borrowing 1 million, we need you to be paying 100,000 a month, and your revenue per month is 70,000. It's already clear it won't be sustainable.
Okay.
And if you don't check on those, they might ask you for capital. Okay, they say you need financing. You put in 20%. We'll put in the remaining 80%.
80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't meet that, they'll ask you for collateral, and you realize the bottom two are the most difficult to find.
Yes. Okay. We're talking about how Martha manages to maneuver, like being a mother, you are in business. How is it like?
Okay, running a business and managing a home is not that easy. But so long as you're well organized, you plan your things, you're good to go. But at times it's a bit hectic, especially to me, because when I started my business, I had few employees, but things were not working on so well. So I had to reduce the employees. So the workload at the shop has increased. So you find at times I get out from the shop while I'm extremely tired. So when you get home, you have to take care of the family too. So it's a bit tricky, but if you organize yourself,
So if you say you organize yourself, what do you mean? How can I organize myself?
you plan accordingly. You organize home first before you leave. You organize everything. Then if you are there, you are at the shop. So you forget about home because you had organized everything before you leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Ngesah, I know for you, you've been forced once in a while, you travel with your family. How do you manage all those?
Is setting your priorities right and balancing between family and work. Yeah, so like she says, you need to have, your family needs to know what you're doing. And when they do, they know when you're out there, maybe if they give you a time, they'll smile at the end of the day. Yeah, so it's actually getting your priorities right and balancing between the obligations at home and those ones at work. But remember, still, we talk about work-life balance. I don't know how the sole proprietors and SMEs and sole business people handle that, because work-life balance is not actually very applicable to somebody who is working 24/7, trying to look for money. Right, Joseph?
Like Muongi.
Yeah, they don't have the luxury
Yeah,
of work-life
that's very
balance.
true.
But
Yeah.
those of us who are perhaps in the international and developing world, where we mix cultures, people really think that for you to have complete health or a state of well-being, you need to rest and balance between business and work. I mean, business and family.
Muongi, how do you balance?
For us, balancing is relative. It's not something which you mainly schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, because you also have to get your priorities right. And there's a level which, if you want to reach, you have to make sacrifices. So whether it's sacrificing in the short term, get more discomfort, get more hours, but in the long term, enjoy the benefits. So for us, it's something which we have to weigh all the time. And we don't have the schedules of the particular working hours, sleeping hours. They're not very applicable.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Ngesah, is capacity building for SMEs important?
Very, very important. And like I told you earlier on, they have a vision. Most SMEs want to be big companies. And to arrive there, you need to know how to run a business and a successful business. Managing an SME is like riding a bicycle. If you stop pedaling, you fall down. Okay? So capacity building in terms of knowing how to, just the business skills, understanding the business environment, because the business environment is always dynamic. There are many changes, you must always be ready. We talk about agility. your ability to respond to changes in the business environment. Okay, so you can only do that if you have the skills and the wherewithal that is achieved maybe through training and sharing experiences with other people who have succeeded, like Joseph here. Now I had his capacity building others to be able to win awards like himself. Yeah, so benchmarking is also one way of capacity building, and just knowing how do I succeed in my business.
Okay. Martha, being a sole proprietor, before you make a decision, who are your support system, people that you consult before you make any single decision that affects your business?
All right. I'll say I consulted my husband. Okay, I just I sat down and shared with him, and he was willing to support. Yes, I'm not forgetting about I work in hand with Queen's Yummy Street. Yeah, she also deals with the pastries, but at times she helps a lot on my side. Yes.
But being a sole proprietor, there are some decisions that you need to make instantly that affect your business. Tell us the process of making that decision. Or you just wake up and you just say, so and so, you're fired.
I don't. Okay. This is how I make my decision. For example, when I started the business, I had high hopes that I will move very fast. But as time goes, I sat down and just realized that moving forward was a bit challenging. So when I was starting, I had like 5 employees, but things did not work on so well. So I sat down, I called myself for a meeting, and I told myself, now that things are not working out, what should I do? Then I just decided that I had to reduce the number. Yes.
So, Muongi, for you, we were having a chat the other time, and yours is interesting. So how do you decide you're going to hire this person, you're going to fire this person? Because HR is one of serious challenges to SMEs.
Yeah, that's true. Because a lot of people have a very different perception about having a job. So to a lot of people, a job is somewhere where you have to show up every day, and maybe at the end of the month or at the end of the week, you get a salary. But in real terms, from the perception of the business owner, the reason why you're coming in is to add value.
Bring business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're not adding value to the business, that means you're directly just an expense. Yeah, because if you're not adding value and we have to still pay you, it doesn't make any sense for us. Because for the big corporations, they're able to afford to get people who do routine tasks. And the routine task, it's something very simplified that this person might, even if they leave tomorrow, the company will continue moving. But for an SME or a startup, you find that mostly your employees are very critical players to the vision and you achieving your particular goals. So it has to be someone who's able to deliver this value.
Okay. So when we came to your place, you are telling us you always tell your employees to go and look for business. You don't have to sit here.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you don't have any customers, one thing I tell them, the assumption that I'm the one who has employed you is a false assumption, which you should leave, immediately walk into the door. The only person who has employed everyone here is the customer. So if you look around and don't see a customer amongst us, all of us are at danger. So everyone should go there, look for customers, and come back. Yeah.
Mr. Ngesah, do you agree with that?
Totally agree. Totally agree. You see,
Yeah.
That's where most youths are failing. Yeah, because they come into employment with that perception, I'm here to make money. But how do you make that money? You need to make money by looking for business, for satisfying customer needs. Like he rightly points out, the employee is actually the customer. So if the customer is not happy, is not satisfied, and should be satisfied beyond expectations, not just satisfaction for the sake of it. So if he's satisfied beyond expectations, then you'll now be able to benefit from the rewards. They'll reward you handsomely. Yeah, but if that's the sense in fact, it's supposed to be the sense of ownership that the employee should have. This business ours is not. I'm not here just to earn money because I've been employed by us, but take it as your own business. Yeah, ask yourself if I was not to bring in money, would I come to the same office tomorrow? Okay, so I agree with him totally.
Yeah. Is it the same thing that happens in supply chain?
Yes. I mean, supply chain, our job is to ensure that goods are moving right from the manufacturer point of view to the ultimate customer. Actually, our ultimate goal is that ultimate customer. It does not matter which sector, whether it's health where I work, or whether it is manufacturing, or whether it's a business. The customer, at the end of the day, in the health sector, we talk about patients. Those are our customers. Those are our employers, okay? So if that patient goes to a pharmacy, like I said in the last interview, and finds there are no drugs, then of course you have not satisfied the customer. As a supply chain expert, I have a lot of questions to answer. Okay. Yeah.
So Muongi, when you're hiring these people, what do you look for in them? Before, like, let me say I'm coming to you, I need a job.
So a lot of people assume what they've written in the CV is what should be considered. Through experience, I've learned a lot about ignoring the CV. So first of all, we need to start with the values. Are our values aligned? Because that's the main area which we should start with. Someone who's not excited about the business, in real sense, will not be there. Because once they come in, they'll drain the morale in the team. So first of all, our values should be aligned. If I share with you my vision, it should be something which you're also eager to, and we can be able to move in the same direction. And then after that, I need to look at your abilities. So your abilities, you can be good in networking. That's an ability. You can't write that in a CV, but you can be very good in networking. You can be good at analysis. That's something which I'm supposed to pick up in our conversations. And then finally now we look at skills. We say, okay, you're good in this and this, but what do you know how to do? So you can have this particular ability. If you don't have the skills is something which I can be able to train you on. But if you don't have the values and the abilities, I can't train you on those. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are my key priorities.
Maybe just to add on that is that when you look at most people's CVs, you'll find their vision. They're telling you to get employed by one of the best organizations in the world. Instead of saying how they are going to help those organizations remain the best, or even be, the most, successful. Okay, so it's very, very important. And what he's saying, these days, employers, I'm a PhD candidate as we speak, but I don't think that is what is necessary for running a company or for a business. What matters now is the software, the networking skills, like he's saying, because we say that your networks are your net worth. Okay, so for small and medium entrepreneurs, connections in terms of positive connections can really bring in a lot for them. And that, of course, is about networking with the right organizations and even donors. Yeah. So it's very, very important what he's mentioning. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen and lady. I'm going to give you each 30 seconds as our closing remarks, and probably something you feel like we haven't touched on that you feel our viewers should know. So I'll start with you, Muongi.
So for me, it will be mainly to encourage the SME owners and also people with intentions of starting these particular businesses, and also to give them the reality. It won't be as easy as they think it will be, but with the right attitude and the effort, it can be something worthwhile in the long run.
Okay.
Yes.
Martha?
Okay, I'll also urge the youths who are willing or want to start a business, the small business, the SMEs, not to give up. They should just be encouraged and start something, because I know so many youths are now jobless, not only youths, but so many people are jobless. So I do encourage them not to give up, but at least start something. Then when it comes to employing the youths or those who are jobless, I feel we should not look at what someone has done in regards to education and everything, the way Muongi was putting it. I feel if you're willing to assist right now, because so many people, so many youths, they have got nothing to do. You just pick and you train. If someone is willing, just train and give a job.
So the most important thing is the will.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ngesah?
So what I can advise my friends here is that they can position themselves in so many ways. One is running an efficient, however small it is, an efficient business enterprise. And by efficiency, I mean knowing how the costs come into your business, and being able to know how those costs affect your bottom line, or what you get at the end of the day, and how you make your profit. Okay. Number two, you need to be continuously scan the business environment for opportunities, and these opportunities can include bank loans. There are so many banks that are now targeting SMEs. For example, KCB is one of them. They received some funding from the IFC, the financing arm of World Bank, to target women and youths in terms of business. Okay, so target those banks like Barclays Bank. They have programs targeting SMEs, where they have what we call LSPO financing, for example. They have things to do with invoice discounting, such programs. So long as, like what Muongi said, so long as you're able to prove that you know what you are doing, and your business can be sustainable, you can access these loans, because they'll give you. And remember, I said earlier that you need to know how to approach business in terms of bidding. Okay, so if you are able to get it right at the bidding stages, and deal with a good company or a corporate, when you take such an LPO to a bank like Barclays, for example, they'll be able to give you invoice financing or LPO financing. Okay, like women in business, we have in supply chain, we have now programs targeting women specifically, and IFC is leading on that. Women supply chain, IFC and other organizations like We Connect, maybe you'll Google that. You see what opportunities are there to help women, because they understand that we are in a patriarchal society where men think women are not supposed to be working. Okay, they're supposed to be taking care of them at home. Okay, but you see, women, you allow a woman to do business, then you are building a whole economy. Okay. Yeah, so women are, we are realizing that women are better at managing businesses than even men. When you look at Association of Kenya, CAM, for example, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KEPSA, who are heading those organizations now? They are women. Yeah, so take advantage of these opportunities and reach out to supply chain experts. Don't look at us as people who ask for kitu kidogo. Okay, we have good supply chain experts here who you can bring on board for advice. Okay, in terms of how do I get it right, understanding where my raw materials are coming from, how I convert them. You see, like we look at it as a production system where raw materials come in, they are converted into goods or services. You see, understanding that chain, to be able now to understand how do I satisfy my customer, what are my customer expecting. Yeah, so those are some of the parting shots I can leave with my colleagues here. And maybe something you forgot, Wandawa, is about how SMEs can position themselves for donor funding, okay, grants. Yes. And one thing he mentioned that was very important that I think we should not leave without saying is the fact that donors or development partners look at value for money. That's the expectation. Sound financial management, okay? And you can only manage your organization well if you have the skills I was talking about, okay? Entrepreneurial skills and the ability to understand how the business environment functions, and they're able to give feedback and updates to the donor so that at least they can build that trust in you then the money will keep coming.
Okay, thank you very much. And remember the sources for funds. 1, friends, family, and the third one, of course, it's fools. Thank you very much for watching. Always remember, on Friday we have a new video. You can also visit our website www.supplychainafricanews.com, and you can share the stories you feel like we need to cover. On our YouTube channel, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time, my name is Wanda Bonyama.